Welcome to the Career Whisper. I'm Andrea Kay, career consultant and author of the new book, Work's a Bitch, and Then You Make It Work, 6 Steps to Go from Pissed Off to Powerful. Last time we met, you met Joe Barker, who was very frustrated and feeling helpless about his career. And he talked a little bit about what those 2 times in his career felt like when he knew all the signs were there telling him you need to make a change, and a dramatic one. So he talked a little bit about what that path is like. And today you're going to meet with him again, and he's going to talk about what specific steps he took, how he stayed motivated, because it's really hard once you take the leap to stay motivated, and what frustrations and issues he ran into, but how he overcame them. Welcome back, Joe.
Thanks.
So when we last left, you were speaking about the classes that you were investigating. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about what specifically, just briefly, mm-hmm. what you did, mm-hmm. what classes you took, what decisions you made, mm-hmm. and how that panned out, what it took you to next.
Mm-hmm. I had, figured out that based on what I wanted to do, which I wasn't exactly sure, but I was going to need some anatomy and physiology coursework to make that happen. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking of either maybe exercise physiology or nutrition, just kind of generally. And for either of those, I was going to need some of this A&P coursework.
A&P?
A&P, anatomy and physiology.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And in order to do that, I was going to need some prerequisites. Having been an English major, I really didn't have any sort of science background. Mm-hmm. But it turned out that the anatomy and physiology classes only required me to do some basic chemistry.
And you being a smart guy, you whizzed right through it, right?
Well, I didn't. In high school was probably my most challenging class, so I went in with a lot of trepidation. But it turned out that I guess as an adult student, maybe taking it a little bit more seriously because I was paying for the classes myself, right. and being more motivated because I had an idea of where I wanted to go, that they were much, I guess, easier than they would have been, okay. The first time around. So
after you took these classes, then did that give you a better sense of what you wanted to move towards?
Kind of, I guess.
Did you say nutrition's the way I want to go, or what happened?
I knew that some further education was going to be where I wanted to go. Mm-hmm. And I knew that these classes were all very interesting to me, so I knew I was kind of going somewhere in the right direction.
Yeah, and that's a good clue. Did you like the classes?
Right, yeah.
Were they stimulating?
Right.
Was it exciting to learn this kind of information?
Right.
And that was the case?
It was, yeah. Okay. I mean, I could have been taking English literature, I could have been taking physics, and I probably would have found something to be interested in.
Yeah.
But not so much as I felt with these classes.
Yeah.
These were really engaging to me, so I knew that something was right. So
then you entered a degree program at some point?
I knew that I was interested in nutrition.
Yeah.
And I knew I was also interested in cooking, just in my personal life.
Yeah.
And so the community college near where I am has both culinary and nutrition classes. Mm-hmm. And I decided I could do a 1-year culinary certificate program, which would kind of tap into my interest in nutrition.
And you did that?
Yep. And at the same time, I started taking some nutrition prerequisites, which I would need if I wanted to move on to become a registered dietitian, and to get into a more formal class structure.
So you did that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, didn't you also start your own business in which you went into people's homes and did cooking?
Yeah, after I worked, I continued to work as a computer programmer while I was going to school, and then when I got my...
So that you had money coming
right.
in,
mm-hmm.
okay.
And community colleges are usually really good about scheduling classes when you can mm-hmm. take them, if you're a working person. And after I got my culinary certificate, I opened a small business kind of using that.
What'd you call it?
Joseph Barker Personal Chef and Wellness Services.
Okay.
A hopelessly long title, but...
So there was wellness, what was that? Wellness sources?
Personal Chef and Wellness Services.
Services.
Yeah.
So what were the wellness services?
Helping people reorganize their kitchen so that they could do more cooking at home. Helping people do label reading if they wanted to learn about what they're eating.
Okay.
I could talk to folks about some different exercise and stress management.
Yeah.
But mostly it was more focused on nutrition because that's what my education had given me.
So you were now getting a taste of, excuse the pun, of what it felt like to work with nutrition and food and people. And And you were making some money at this too,
Right?
So
yeah.
that was nice.
Yeah.
Could you get rid of the computer stuff then?
I think I did a little bit of both for a while.
Okay.
But you know, it wasn't a big deal. I mean,
Okay.
I was doing something that I enjoyed, so the
Yeah.
computer work was less burdensome.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
When you know that you're moving towards something,
Yeah.
the bad stuff doesn't feel so bad.
Right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you then became, the more you jumped in to the actual classes
Mm-hmm.
and talked to people and played around and dabbled in this whole food nutrition world,
Right.
it became clear to you that that was what felt right.
Right. What happened is when I jumped into this culinary certificate thing, I just kind of one day said to myself and my wife, "This is what I am interested in doing."
And how did you know, though?
Well, because I just felt excited about it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just felt like, yeah, and I kind of felt like I was getting away with something.
What do you mean?
Like that it was almost too good to be true. Like I enjoyed this so much, and I was going to go learn about it. You know, like I was almost like getting one over on somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of I felt like it was just a very exciting time. Just to say I'm going to do this and. To heck with what happens because I enjoy this and I'm just going to see where it goes.
So you kind of surrendered to some fears that were in the back of your head that were, yeah, but I still don't know what this is called.
Right,
And
yeah.
all of that. Was
Yeah.
that still clicking away in there at times
Yeah.
or on your shoulder?
Yeah, sure. But to know that I was obviously, between a computer and a chef's knife and a cutting board is kind of where I felt more in line with things.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when did you have any doubts, and how did they creep in? And
Well, I didn't. I think I'm not sure that I doubted where I was going, but I doubted how long it was going to take to get there.
Oh, okay.
And I doubted, that the fact that I was going to be taking classes and starting this whole new career meant that, in my early to mid 30s, that I was really. I was kind of exposing myself in a sense to, not being in a career path and having to start over again and being worried about not making enough money and supporting my family and things like that.
So I want to talk more about that, but first, how did you quell those fears? There's more to come. Check back in a few weeks.